G'day guys, and welcome to my Draw My Life video. I hope you enjoyed. It is a very condensed version of my life, but I thought it was about time that I finally made one. So to start with, I was born on March 15th, 1995, the best day in the whole entire universe history. Pretty much, I was a small little baby, but I was also an extremely heavy baby. I was a 9-pounder and I had a lot of hair. I also realised soon that I had a big sister, and that was so cool because we became the bestest of friends, and yeah, it was just awesome. We used to make up little dances for my parents and sing songs and everything, and they were all recorded on home video. In grade 1, we had a vacant block of land next to us, and my mum looked out the window and said, "Look, someone is building down there." And I saw this little girl in the same school uniform as what I had on, and I was like, "Oh my god, Mum, I think I know her, she goes to my school." And so I did end up knowing her, and we became the bestest of friends, and that is how I met Krista. And so me, Cassie and Krista used to always play every afternoon after school, going to each other's houses. And then the most bizarre thing happened. My mum got really fat, and apparently there was a baby in there. So once the baby was ready to come out, me and Cassie got sent to my auntie's place for the night, and when we came back, we realised that we were no longer a family of 4, we were now a family of 5, and I had a little sister. Even though I wanted a little brother, I just got a little sister, but I was super over the moon with that because when we all grew up a little bit, we all became like the best of friends, and we used to always play tricks on each other, and yeah, we had a really good childhood, the 3 of us. And then grade 6 came around, and I had a group of girlfriends that I hung out with ever since I was in grade 1. It wasn't Krista's group because she was in a different class to me, so basically these girls one day said, "We don't want you to sit with us anymore, and we don't like you, and stop following us." So I was really upset, and that really hurt my feelings. So one day Krista said, "Don't worry, like, you can sit with me," and everything actually got so much better, and I had like the best group of girlfriends after that, and everything was really good in my life. Krista and I would hang out like every afternoon after school. We'd play Bratz dolls. Sometimes Cassie would hang out with us too, but it was mainly just me and Krista, and we would even like hang out in the vacant block of land next door and just play little games and make up things, and it was really fun. We used to ride our push bikes around like the whole neighbourhood and even like make friends with the other neighbourhood kids, and it was just a ball. I had a really good time at this point in my life. I mean, how many problems can you have when you're a 12-year-old? I also had another friend that lived down the road from Krista, and her name was Maddie, and we'd been friends for a long time too, but Krista and Maddie basically weren't friends. So it was me and Krista that were friends and me and Maddie that were friends, but that was okay. I just worked around it. There was a vacant block of land between my house and Krista's house, and basically all of us kids used to hang out there in like the afternoons after school, and the boys would like make bike jumps, and yeah, it was really fun. High school hit, and this is when some really bad news happened in my life. My bestest friend ever came to me one day and said, "I think my parents are going to make us move to the coast," which is a really far away drive. And although it was exciting that she was moving to the coast, we were really sad because we had been neighbours since we were like 6, and we were like 13 at this point, and it was really sad, and I still really miss her. But one good thing came out of it, and that was that Maddie and I became really close because she went to the same high school as me, which was super awesome. So we had a really close friendship, which was great. And then in grade 10, I found the first, what I thought was the love of my life, my first boyfriend. We were super all over each other, and well, it turned out Maddie and him actually got along a lot better than me and him, and well, me and her. So I kind of got cut out of that situation, and that was the end of that friendship, which made me really sad because that was my other friend gone, and I just thought I was having no luck with friends. So when I was 15, I went to Red Rooster for a job interview, and they told me I was hired, and then my life started looking up again, and I began working and earning money, and I felt like I was a real adult. I mean, I was 15, but it's a great feeling having your first job, even though the job itself was actually shit, and a lot of the people were really not very nice to me, which sucked. But one day I got locked out in the bin room, and I was knocking, and I was like, "Help me, can somebody let me out?" And that's when this nice boy came and let me out of the bin room, and I was so thankful, and that turned out to be Hayden. Hayden also worked at Red Rooster, obviously, and he was my next boyfriend, and we were together for a really long time, and we were super happy and made super awesome memories. Basically, I had a really good time with him. He boosted my life a lot. We were together for a total of 4 years. I had started showing interest in photography, and when I was 15 years old, my dad bought me my first DSLR. It was a Canon 500D, and I was super excited. And then I had the dilemma of what do I do after school. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I wanted to do art, photography, design, business. I wasn't exactly sure, but I had to figure it out eventually. And yeah, so basically while I was trying to figure things out, I would be with my camera all of the time on the beach. My family and I used to go on holidays all the time to the Sunshine Coast, and that's when I really fell in love with landscape photography. Taking photos of the ocean and the rocks and all that kind of thing was just like, I just loved it. So I got accepted into my first preference, which was a Bachelor of Design initially, and then I realised, hang on a minute, I didn't really like design anymore, and I like the photography kids and what they're doing, so I changed into photography to be with those kids. And I got a fancy new MacBook, and I also saved up and got a Canon 60 to go with it, which I super am still in love with till this day. I had a lot of pressure for me to do well at uni because my sister did really well at uni, and she actually graduated with honours with a teaching degree, and although I was really happy and proud of her, I felt a lot of pressure on myself to do really well too. I also felt like Hayden and I were starting to drift apart in our lives and taking us in different directions, so I sat him down in the bed one day and said, I'm really sorry, but I think we're drifting apart, and we said goodbye, and that was really sad. And a lot of my friends that were in our friend group sort of didn't talk to me anymore because I was the one that broke it off with him, and that made me feel really alone. But luckily I had one friend that still spoke to me, and that was Tani, and she worked at Red Rooster with us as well, and it just so happened that her brother turned out to be Reese. And so we decided to all go out together and became really close, and we did a lot of things that we probably shouldn't have done, but it was a really good time and I don't regret it. I just wish that it was because of different circumstances, but Reese and I ended up falling in love, and we were super happy for a long time. I was staying at his house all of the time, and he had lots and lots of friends, like lots and lots of friends that we all sort of hung out together, and yeah, it was alright, except I realised my grades were just not sort of where they should have been at uni. I was kind of skipping class a lot, and I wasn't as passionate about it as I once was. One good thing did come out of it though, and that was that I made lots of friends, including my best friend Cameron. So I went on and completed my major of marketing, but the photography aspect was still sort of playing on my mind. I wasn't exactly sure it was what I wanted to do anymore, so I ended up dropping out, and after I dropped out I was super happy, and I got offered a couple of photography jobs, and I got really into shooting newborns and children. So I mainly focused on this for a couple of years, but I didn't really like that either. Meanwhile at home, things were really bad. My parents were fighting all of the time. Actually, we were all kind of just fighting with each other, and it was a really toxic environment to sort of be in, and I just had a really horrible year because I didn't want to be at home at all, and then I just kept going out and partying. So basically 2016 was the worst year ever. And not long after all the fighting was happening, my mum decided to say that she was leaving, and one night she just walked out on us with no explanation. We didn't know if she was coming back, and that made my dad and my sisters and I really upset. So my emotions were all over the place, and I was just feeling a little bit crazy and upset, and so the girls at work said, hang on a minute, maybe you could be pregnant. So they sent me to the toilets with a pregnancy test, and sure enough I had 2 lines, and I thought, fuck, what do I do? And they let me go home early that day. I was really stressed out and not feeling too great. I was really worried about telling Reese because I didn't know how he'd react, but he reacted really good, and that made me feel a lot better. I decided that I wanted to tell my mum, even though we weren't on good terms and I was still angry at her, but she was really supportive, just very shocked as you would be. So in February 2017 I gave birth to my little bundle of joy, Oliver, and life was really good, and Reese and I were really happy. Unfortunately, it didn't last forever, and we ended up breaking up a few months down the track. Since we broke up, I had nobody else to live with, and I was a single mum on my own, and it was really difficult, so I said, hey mum, you're alone too, why don't you come and live with me in my house and we can be our own little happy family. So far it's worked out really good, except for one thing. My dad and my sisters were really angry at me when they found out about this, and they actually don't talk to me anymore. They just started doing things without me, and that's really sad, but it doesn't seem to have much of an effect on them, and they seem to still be really happy, which kind of makes me even more sad in a way, but it always felt like me and mum, our personalities got along a lot better than my dad and I and my sisters, and I kind of was always the black sheep. This is my picture of a black sheep. It's really terrible, don't judge me. So at the moment, life is really good. It's just me and my mum and Ollie that live with me now. And Reese still sees Ollie a lot, almost every single day, and he has him about 2 nights a week. So I'm really lucky that we were able to still have a good relationship, and we do take Ollie out together sometimes. We're trying to work on this whole co-parenting thing, as you guys would know if you watch my videos. So at the moment, I'm just really happy, and that's where I'm going to wrap it up, guys. So thanks so much for watching my Draw My Life video. I hope you got something out of it, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Ciao for now.